So just how easy is it to play the bass? Well, it all depends. But here's something you absolutely must know. Hi, I'm John Liebman. Welcome to another episode of The Essence of Groove. All right, how easy is it to play the bass? Is it easy? Is it hard? You may have heard all the old jokes. Oh, it's only 4 strings. How hard can it be? Well, it's only one note at a time. It's not like a piano or a guitar where you have to do so much with all your fingers and do all that thinking. Well, there's some thinking involved in playing the bass too, and particularly in doing it well. Suppose you're playing bass in a band, and whatever song you're playing calls for the bass to play a repetitive 1-5 pattern. You know the one. It sounds all too familiar to us bass players. That's what we play. We play that one a lot. I just don't want you to fall into the trap of, oh, that's only 1-5, 1-5. It's no big deal. It is a big deal. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that to me anyway. It is a very big deal. If the song calls for, if I have to play a 1-5, 1-5 pattern, you know what I do? I give it the best 1-5, 1-5 I've got. And I want you to do that too. So ask yourself these questions. Are you playing the note exactly where it needs to be played? Are you playing it with just the right amount of assertiveness or aggression or whatever it needs? Sometimes you need to lean in, sometimes you need to lay back a little bit, but whatever the song calls for, is that what you're giving? Are you playing that consistently? Are you paying attention not just to your attacks of the notes, but also your note releases? Nobody ever talks about note releases. They are just as important, maybe even more important than the attack of the note. When the note stops, you want to stop it nice and clean and pay attention to that like you're doing it on purpose, because you are. You know what you're doing. You don't want any of that, what I call crunchiness. I can't even do it anymore, but I hate that sound. So does everybody else. What about your muting techniques, your left hand and your right hand muting techniques to avoid any extraneous noise or string ring? Are you paying attention to those things while you're doing your 1-5, 1-5? Start thinking about that. Or what if you're playing, I don't know, a shuffle? How intently are you focusing and concentrating on playing those notes right where they go and the releases and the other things that I mentioned, but in a shuffle, getting that triplet subdivision, that swing feel? No matter what style you're playing, are you locking in with the drummer? Are you setting the foundation for the band? Are you making the music feel good? See, there are a lot of things to think about. Suppose you're playing a walking bass line. Are you thinking about connecting those notes? Just one note melting into the next one, nice and long and legato and connected. Etc. Or suppose it's a funky R&B thing. In an R&B line, a lot of times you're going to have short notes, which means, again, you have to pay extra special, extra close attention, not only to the attack of the note, but the release of the note as well. Start paying attention to these things. And I don't want you to feel like, oh, John is piling up more and more stuff on top of what I already have to do. This is no fun. There's so much to do. There's so much to know. Well, you know what I tell my students? I say, listen, the better you play, the more I'm going to nitpick you. And I'm going to introduce these things one at a time as you're at that point where you need them. I mean, first, let's hold the bass. Let's get the hand position. Let's get a sound. Let's get a little groove going, an easy thing going. And let's get you from beginner to advanced beginner, to competent bass player, to one level all the way up to badass groover, wherever you are. But start paying attention to these things and start implementing them, incorporating them into your playing as you're able to, depending on where you are in that spectrum of bass playing ability. I've got all kinds of tips and advice for learning bass, so if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that right now. And let me know how it goes. Try some of these things. I'd love to see a comment from you. Hey, John, I tried this. I never thought about that before, and I started doing it, and you know what? My bass playing feels better, it sounds better, and thanks for the advice. But when you get more and more into these things, what happens is it eventually becomes second nature. When I play a 1-5-1-5 pattern, I want to say I don't think about it. I do. I give it the importance that it needs. But what I'm trying to say is it's second nature to me to do all those things, to play right at the right instant. It needs to be played with the right amount of assertiveness, steady, consistent, muting the strings, eliminating any extraneous noise, all those things that I said, locking in with the drummer, setting the foundation for the band, making the music feel good. That's a lot of stuff to come second nature without that kind of thinking about it, but it does happen little by little. I've been playing the bass for many years, so it doesn't happen overnight, but start working on it and you'll get it gradually. And I want to see you over in the badass circle with the other badass groovers. I will see you right back here next week, same time, same place, with another episode of The Essence of Groove. I do hope to hear from you in the meantime. Once again, I'm John Liebman. Let's play bass.